In the not too distant future, next Sunday AD, there was a guy named Joel, not too different from you or me.
Hello, I'm Faith, and welcome to Faith's Take, where I talk about anything and everything that I find interesting. And welcome to my review of episode 507 of MST3K, I Accuse My Parents. After finally tackling every single episode of Season 1, I decided not to go in chronological order anymore and just review whatever episode I feel like, and especially what episodes you guys want to see. So I decided to take Jackie's advice and treat myself to one of my absolute favorite episodes of the entire series. We've got an underrated short, some classic Joel-era host segments, and a delightfully goofy movie. So let's dive right into my review of MST3K episode 507, I Accuse My Parents. Starting as usual with our cold open, Tom Servo has been dreaming of being a real boy. Crow's attempted to help Tom live out said dreams by painting him a peachy flesh tone. After his initial shock, Joel assesses the situation and comes to the conclusion that Tom has come down with the Pinocchio syndrome, and Crow ruins all of Tom's hopes with a harsh dose of reality. Getting into the Invention exchange, Dr. Forrester and TV's Frank have invented the type of cake that a dancer pops out of, where the cake is actually edible, but unfortunately it ends up with Frank baking the dancer alive in the process. The SOL crew, meanwhile, has created the Junk Drawer Organizer. Try saying that 3 times fast. And seeing as the junk drawer is a bizarrely universal thing, this is actually both funny and practical.
What a cute shape on me, huh? Check me out, eh? Woo.
There you go. All done.
Hey, hi, Crow. Hi, Tom. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Satellite of Love. I'm Joel Robinson. You might remember me as the guy who was accidentally shot into space and then... The hell? Oh. Tom Servo, you're naked.
Naked and beautiful, Joel. The human body in all its many shapes and sizes is a wonder to behold.
Tom, you know, I knew this was going to happen sometime. You're experiencing the Pinocchio syndrome.
Oh, nonsense, brother.
Tom, why do you want to be a real live boy? There are billions of real live boys on Earth. There's only one Tom Servo.
I want to run and jump and skin my knees.
You don't have any legs.
I want to catch frogs down at the old swimming hole.
Your arms don't work.
I want to experience the world of emotions and feelings.
You'll get beat up because you're a freak.
Oh, Joel, the stories I could tell of frenzied bachelor parties and exotic dancers jumping out of cakes. Sounds exciting? Sure. That's why we've combined dessert and objectifying the human body in one easy cake mix. Cake and shake. A real exotic dancer included.
I merely followed the easy-to-read instructions right on the box. And hey, here's a tip. Just fold the exotic dancer right into the cake. That way you save a step.
I'll remember that for my cake for the next bake sale. You what? You baked a person in it? An hour at $3.50?
Oh, it's beefcake.
Hey.
See, because he's...
Hush. Anyway, sirs, our invention this week is based on the old American tradition, the junk drawer.
Yeah. Hey, did you know that Benjamin Franklin invented the junk drawer?
And were he alive today, he might have invented the new American tradition, the Junk Drawer Organizer.
Yeah, and how many times have you gone rooting through your junk drawer, muttering to yourself, where'd I put that gun? Well, now there's a place for it.
Your feature presentation is a film called I Accuse My Parents. You figure it out. Enjoy it with the short about truck farming.
To start today's experiment, we have the short, The Truck Farmer, and sadly it is not about a humble man tending to a field where he plants truck seeds and then sells the crops to Ford, but instead it's about how modern machinery and transportation has made fresh fruits and veggies available across the US all year round. While that's definitely a topic that's often overlooked today since we're so used to convenience, it is quite the oddly named short as it focuses much more on the actual farming than on the trucking.
Truck Farmer, the special edition, includes scenes the studio originally thought too graphic for audiences.
In recent decades, truck farming has become big business.
But not for these people.
By hand, the land would have taken weeks of hard labor to clear.
Stick farmers.
But now trees and brush can be cleared and burned in days.
Well, that's cheerful.
And the land...
I'm thinking of telling my wife I love her. Nah, forget it. Not worth it. Most farmers like to listen to Igor Stravinsky when they farm.
Here in southern Texas, there is an additional problem.
Texans.
Adequate supplies of water. A complicated system of irrigation is used.
Real complicated.
Great care is taken to see that none of the precious water is wasted.
I wanted to be a choreographer.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Farm income from the sale of peas and other vegetables.
Oh, take your time, Al.
Let's see, what am I going to have for dinner tonight? No, not
The
carrots.
job has now become a race against time.
Hey, I'm stacking them as fast as I can.
The carrots are washed first.
They're made flavorless, so people will buy steak.
Some, of course, are canned.
And turned into carrot paints.
An automatic machine puts a top on the crate, and the finished box is passed along on a series of rollers directly to a refrigerated railroad car, where it is loaded immediately.
Then sent back to the farm and put back into the ground. It actually makes no sense whatsoever.
The race to market enters the final stages.
We haven't worked out all the kinks yet.
All over the northern part of the delivery of these products is now taken for granted.
Yes, the South starves while the North eats
Today,
healthily.
truck farming is a big business, vital to the health of our nation.
Wait a minute, has anybody seen a truck yet?
Without it, the balance...
And now we head into the main feature of the day, I Accuse My Parents. After some fast-paced opening credits, we open in a courthouse where Jimmy Wilson's on trial for murder. After apparently not defending himself until now, he accuses his parents and explains how his parents never actually took care of him even as a preschooler. We're then thrust into the flashback that's basically the entire movie. It turns out Jimmy won an important essay contest at his school all about how important parents are in a child's life. All of what he wrote about, however, were just his fantasies and nothing that he's actually experienced with his neglectful family. Jimmy's principal wants to meet his quote-unquote lovely mother at an upcoming meeting at the school. Jimmy happily agrees and rushes home to tell his mom, and we see the sadness in action. Jimmy's mom obviously has a drinking problem, his father a gambling addiction, and they're rarely even at the house at all and just fight with each other when they are.
Hey, we didn't get to read... Oh.
They laughed when I accused my parents and I killed them. Let's see if they'll be laughing now.
Sam Newfield, he directed Jungle Goddess.
Oh, well, that... Ah!
James Wilson, during the progress of this trial, you have refused to testify in your own defense, and by your silence have prevented your counsel from adequately defending you.
You can't handle the
You are charged
truth.
with manslaughter.
Well, maybe I shouldn't say this, Your Honor,
But I'm Esther Roll.
but I accuse my parents.
We have a title!
We have a title, yes. Well, that was a short movie.
Have order in the...
I learned to put myself to bed when I was 4 or 5 years old, and to get my own breakfast if they weren't up yet when it was time to go to school.
Yeah, boo-hoo, we all have problems.
Did you get along well in school?
Oh, yes, sir, I liked it. I had some pretty good friends among my classmates.
Hey, a simple yes or no will do.
James Wilson for his splendid essay.
I won.
My Country and My Home. We want to know the woman who has inspired this splendid essay.
Joan Crawford?
And we'd love to have your mother serve on the committee, James.
I don't have a mom, my dog ate her.
Be pleased.
Very well, James.
Oh boy, I won. I won after 11 years in high school. I finally won something.
Oh no, Mom's in the bottle again. Went to store, scotch in fridge, love Mom. Where do I start? It all looks so good.
Mom is hot.
Jimmy,
Oh, Shirley.
is your mother home?
No, she isn't.
Oh, never mind. I didn't want to see her especially. Besides, I can see her later.
Okay, who are you?
Well, here goes for both of us.
Hey, that's my booze.
Looks like you're having yourselves a time, you two.
Suddenly the thin man
What
enters.
goes on here?
Fix mother a drink, James. I'm exhausted.
From drinking so much.
No decent meals on time. The house is always in a mess while you're gadding about making a fool of
I got
yourself.
an
You do what you please. Why shouldn't I do what I please?
That's
I got-
okay with me.
Teacher
But
said
you're
it-
not going to do it while you're my wife.
It was
That suits me.
But I got-
How about the example you've set him? Out gambling every night. Sometimes not even coming home at all.
really
Well,
good
I have to
paper.
do something to pass it. Yes, son?
Something about school. I won the essay contest, and the principal said
I'll say that's fine. Here's $5. Go out and celebrate.
Spend it on loose leaf paper.
There goes a great man.
What about my $5?
The principal wants you to meet with the parents' graduation committee tomorrow at 11. Mrs. Carlisle and Mrs. Whitney are going to be there. All the most important women in the neighborhood.
Is there a bar?
Back out on deck, it's arts and crafts time, where Joel has had the bots design their ideal family situations in order to dive as deep as you can into the psyches of your own metallic creations. It's a cute segment that gives each bot a good moment to shine and show off some more of their inner personalities.
Joel, what's the point of this art therapy stuff anyway, huh?
Well, by having you draw pictures of your idealized family, maybe you can escape some of the deep psychological problems that Jimmy, the star of today's movie, suffered because of his family.
That's my dad. He's all powerful. His hands are made of stainless steel, and he has lasers that shoot out of his chest. Pew, pew. And he dispenses homespun wisdom and teaches solid Midwestern values while crushing all who block his path.
That's my mom, my dad, and my mom. My mom is Haley Mills, my dad is Gigantor, and my mom is Peggy Cass.
Let's see, latent parent trap syndrome. Man should be in a straitjacket. Okay, Gypsy, well, this one's really nice. What's this one?
Joel, my ideal family is right here, and I know Richard Basehart watches over us all.
Joel, why are you spending your time psychoanalyzing robots?
I don't know.
While getting ready to head into Jimmy's school, Jimmy's mom gets into yet another fight with his father and gets wasted before heading out to the meeting. At said meeting, Jimmy's tending to his field of lies just as his mother stumbles in. After the humiliation, Jimmy takes up a job as a shoe salesman, because that correlates, I suppose, and is immediately smitten with a blonde beauty of a customer named Kitty. After some weird bit with him cleaning the window that I'm honestly not sure whether it's supposed to be flirty or funny or what, he helps Kitty with her shoes and then promises to deliver them to her house, something that the store doesn't even do. And as you all probably know, the best thing to do when you first meet someone new is to lie about your family with no prompting whatsoever.
Why don't you act your age?
Stop criticizing me. You don't like my clothes. You don't like my hats. You don't like it if I sit around here. You don't like it if I go out. Well, let's stop this ridiculous farce. Why don't we quit?
I like your
Great
hat.
idea. Thanks for the suggestion.
So they're divorced now? That was easy. Mirror, mirror on the wall. Can I make it to last call?
It's the way any other fellas is. The way a home ought to be.
A very happy home, obviously. I'm most anxious to meet your mother.
Oh, Mom's swell.
Liar! Liar! Liar!
Even if I had a lot of...
Hello, everybody.
Oh, and did I tell you she drinks?
Sorry if I'm late.
Miss Reardon drinks a lot.
I'm Jimmy Wilson's mother. She's drunk.
It's funny.
How shocking.
Eleanor Roosevelt's pissed.
Ooh.
Later in prison.
She's drunk.
It's funny.
How shocking.
I wish my peers would get out of my head. I'm trying to sleep.
Wanted mother.
You live with your parents? Yes, sir. Well, you look like a good boy. I think
Hey.
Hey, he sneezed all over the window.
Oh, I get it. You want to see my knees.
Your mother's in detox. Come quickly.
Get in here. Jeez.
That's a good idea.
Please don't touch the customers, Jim.
I'd like to see those suede slippers in the window. The black ones with the bows.
I won an essay contest.
Oh, you'll have to send them COD.
Oh, I'm sorry. We can't do that. Well, I mean, we don't make deliveries, see.
I mean, you're a bad person. I mean...
That's right. What time will you be by?
Well, I get off work about 6. I guess I can make it in about 10 minutes.
Oh, that's fine. I'll be looking for you.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Are we in love yet? Okay.
Well, come on in. You know, it might not be important, but if someone dropped in accidentally and I had to introduce you...
I was in my underwear and you were on the
it might be just as well if I
trapeze.
knew your name.
Oh, James Wilson, but everybody calls me Jimmy.
Okay, Jimmy. Everyone calls me Kitty.
I don't know why. My name is Susan.
Kitty. I've been hitting that stuff kind of heavy lately. Besides, my mother doesn't like to smell it on my breath. You know how mothers are.
Well, then how about a bong?
I never had one myself, but enough to remember.
I was torn from the thigh of Zeus.
That's okay.
Their conversation continues with Jimmy lying his socks off for no gosh darn reason. I mean, there's keeping up appearances, I guess, but then there's meeting a completely new person that doesn't care whether you have great parents or not, and lying about your family life doesn't matter anyway. Not only that, but Kitty didn't have a great family life, so there's not even any jealousy or fear of being judged involved here. Why would you even bother to lie when there's not any benefit or gain to be had at all, and you could have related to her more by just telling the truth? But, as we'll see throughout this movie, Jimmy's not exactly what you'd call a bright bulb. Just as they start making out, Kitty's friend Vera pops in, and Jimmy heads out of there as fast as his lying legs will carry him. Vera then gives us some exposition that Kitty already has a boyfriend named Charlie Blake, and that she shouldn't be messing around with Jimmy in the first place. Meanwhile, Jimmy heads home to his parents heading out for the weekend, abandoning him for his birthday the next day. He decides to go see Kitty's performance at a club that she told him about, and we get our first full-on musical number of the film.
Oh, when I open the door, why, Mom is sure to call out, "Is that you, Jim?"
Liar.
No matter what time of day or night it is. I get so I expect it.
Double lie.
Of course, I always tell her to go to bed when I'm going to be late, but she never does.
Big fat lie.
She worries about me, I guess. She can't rest until I get home.
He's a gifted storyteller.
Oh, she is. She's...
My folks split up about 3 years ago, and I've been on my own ever since.
Well, you seem to have done pretty well on your own.
Not nearly as well as me with my mother, of course.
Wish I could believe it.
I'm not just an ordinary shoe salesman.
Liar! Liar! Liar!
If I like it and decide to stay, why, my dad might...
The clock is bugged!
Oh, I see.
1,700 lies later.
And of course, I was the last one out of Saigon.
That's my...
Will I see you soon?
I hope so, Jimmy.
Oh, this is one successful shoe salesman. Open mouth, closed sale.
Oh, you'd better watch your step, hadn't you?
Well, no problem with my new shoes.
Blake? Yeah, Blake. In case you've forgotten, he's madly in love with you.
Oh, Blake!
But Jimmy seems so different. He's so sweet.
He knows my shoe size.
The kind of a kid every girl dreams about.
You won an essay contest,
now,
you
don't
know.
tell me it's loving.
Thanks, sister.
Hey, come back with that.
Walt Disney interviewing another Snow White.
Listen, everybody, how about going down to Jack Taylor's at the beach for the weekend? That's the idea.
Anybody know who Jack Taylor is?
Well, I guess you forgot. Tomorrow's my birthday.
It was your birthday last year.
Happy birthday to me.
Suppose I could buy a friend with this.
Jack Taylor's got a great place.
Hi, I'm the essay guy. Hi, essay guy's here. That's me. Essay's my name.
Are you happy?
Define happy.
In your work.
No, don't sing this to me on a Monday.
Living in the rhythm that I'm speaking of.
Can I order, please?
In your work if you're in love.
I know how toast works. Where's this going? You know, what table?
As delicious as
Hey, Showbiz, can we get our food over here?
do your hours spin? And are you a glow to check chapeau? Know you're making your tea.
Bite me.
And it's time for our next host segment where Gypsy lip syncs to Kitty's number while Crow, Tom, and Joel act as the patrons and waiters throughout the bit. It's fun, clever, and simple in concept despite all the costumes and such, and I've always really enjoyed it.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to introduce to you our singing star, Miss Kitty Reed.
Are you grateful you're alive? Is your day full 9 to 5? Are you happy in your work? Though you're banker or a clerk, you'll be happy in your work if you're in love.
Oh, what happened?
Oh, geez, I think we spilled some champagne cocktail into Cambot sequencer here. Sorry, everybody, sorry.
Back in the theater, Jimmy and Kitty go to sit down when Kitty's boyfriend asks her to dance and chat about Jimmy with him. He decides that he could use Jimmy for his nefarious dealings and tells her to help convince Jimmy to take him up on any future innocent-sounding offers. Kitty clearly doesn't want to since Blake is as obviously evil as the MCU Hydra agents, but for the moment she agrees. Heading back to the table, Jimmy mentions his birthday and the trio decide to paint the town red for him, complete with going to another club for another Kitty song that's definitely not as catchy as the first one.
You know, I'm glad you came over at that.
Are you really?
No.
I took the liberty of sitting here. I hope you don't mind.
Not at all.
Who are you?
You'll excuse us, of course, Mr. Wilson. Sure, go right ahead. Thank you.
I'm waiting for a call from the president, so I couldn't dance anyway.
Where'd you run into the little Lord Fauntleroy?
In a shoe store. I went in to buy some shoes, and there he was. Isn't that a funny coincidence?
Selling shoes, huh?
Hi, I sell shoes.
Seems like a nice kid. I might be able to help him do better.
Look, Charlie, lay off.
I'm only trying to help him.
I know other people you've helped, and they all
Shut
end
up. I can use the kid. I might find him useful.
And then I'll throw him away like a paper towel.
So I hope it's all right, but you see, tomorrow's my birthday, and I'm celebrating.
Okay, enough with the birthday.
It's all right.
So...
Suddenly they're at a hee-haw rap party.
How you groove in with your cuckoo work? Hey.
Don't you like Mr. Blake?
Oh, I guess he's all right. Oh, isn't he all right?
Yeah, I guess.
Well, don't you like him?
He's my main squeeze, Jimmy.
Sure, but I think you have a better future in the shoe business.
How about essay writing? I'm good at that. So, Jimmy, do you like your kneecaps?
Ladies and gentlemen, I have a big surprise for you this evening.
I'm Rudolph
From the
Hess.
paradise.
We were going this way, that way, this way. Then you took us by the hand.
Wait a second. She's got a pig and a blanket on her head.
Showed us the kiss way to the promised land.
The kiss way to the promised land?
Recommended love came between us. La, da, da, da,
I forgot the words a little bit, though.
Then it took us by the hand.
Check, please.
Check.
Hey, my
Waiter.
mozzarella stick's
Check.
almost up.
Check,
huh?
please.
When love came between us to lead us down that lover's lane.
Boy, she's really rocking this mother, isn't she?
Ouch.
Thank you.
At the end of the night, Jimmy offers to pay the bill, seemingly consisting of 8 entrees and 3 bottles of champagne for the 3 of them, and it's obviously a little too rich for his blood. Blake hands him a suspicious blank check to use, and Jimmy doesn't realize how weird that is, and we see the first hint of Jimmy wanting more income. While going to deposit a check for his boss, Jimmy decides to go to Blake for an extra job after all, and despite how ridiculously sketchy and mob bossy Blake is, thick as a brick Jimmy agrees anyway, not suspecting anything at all. His parents, not being quite as dumb as he is, do notice that Jimmy's different and wonder what he could be up to. Well, his mom does anyway. His dad doesn't really seem to care. Kitty notices Jimmy's sudden changes too and asks him about it, but being the idiot that he is, he assures her that he's not into anything bad at all.
Oh, the mob's gone country.
Thank you, Miss Reed.
Thank you, Miss Reed.
Gee, you... Oh, let me have that. You took care of it at the Paradise. Okay.
I'll just take a...
Jeez, who ate all this stuff?
Oh, have you got a blank check? Sure.
How you fix for socks and underwear?
I see you use the same bank I do.
Oh, well, they're your checks.
Uh-oh, I think he's going to give Mr. Potter his newspaper.
Right.
What's the secret word? Say the secret word and win $100.
I'm sorry. You can deposit this.
Oh.
I'm sorry, you can't put that in your pocket either.
There's a friend of mine in trouble, and I'd like to help him out. Well, how much do you want? About $100.
Or $72.80.
Well, first thing I want you to do is to go to the bank and rent a safe deposit box. At times, there may be some valuable papers I want you to take care of for me. All right, I'll do that.
Do what?
Now, don't be surprised if this job... Now, tonight, I want you to go to this address and pick up a package.
And whack
You
somebody.
just show him this, and he'll know it's okay. Or should I bring the package back? No.
No.
Put it in the safe deposit box. Well, bye now.
Bye.
You think he'd ever accuse
Jimmy's
us?
changed these last few weeks. Have you noticed it, Dan?
Jimmy who?
Yeah, he seems to say, oh, once in a while, you might know what he's up to.
The talking corpse.
Maybe he's got a girlfriend, that's all. I have when I was his age.
And then I died
He's not going to start
inside.
taking after you.
I don't want you to be offended, but I've got to ask you something.
Do I have a weird profile?
You're not mixed up in anything that isn't quite on the level, are you?
Whatever gave you that idea?
I'm just selling drugs to school
I don't know,
kids.
except that you have...
Being suspicious, Kitty decides to ask Blake if he's hired Jimmy at all, and he becomes the second man in her life to be a big fat liar and insists that he hasn't. That night, Jimmy runs an errand for a package, and the guy who hands it off to him includes a note. He brings the note back to Blake, still not understanding what's really going on, and next thing you know, he's gonna be a blissfully ignorant getaway driver. He decides to call Kitty from one of Blake's phones to set up a date, while Blake listens in and sees red. While Jimmy's off renting the car, Blake heads to Kitty's and furiously demands she break up with Jimmy immediately while he hides in a closet to listen in. She breaks Jimmy's heart to keep him alive, and if that wasn't bad enough, Jimmy finally realizes what's been going on when he hears a gunshot and figures out that he's actually the getaway guy. He confronts Blake, who promises to take care of things, but as I and any other half-Italian worth their salt could tell you, Jimmy's in big trouble.
I meant to ask you before. Have you put Jimmy Wilson to work?
Why, I haven't laid eyes on him. Have you seen him?
Liar! Liar!
Asked me to get...
What is this guy, butcher to the mob?
Here you go. Happy birthday,
Now,
Jimmy.
this is very important.
I let you out the back door. Don't tell the Nazis where I am.
What's the idea coming back here? I told you what to do with that package. I know you did, Mr. Blake, but Mr. Carlton said to give you this note. He said it was important.
Is this a caper?
It's all right, Jimmy. You did the right thing. Better wait out in the other office. I may have something else for you to do. Okay, Mr. Blake.
And do some filing while you're out there.
Yeah, I got a real knack for shadowy errands. That's me.
$30,000 worth of diamonds. What are you going to do now, Charlie?
We're going to talk like this,
We're going
see?
down to the warehouse and get it out tonight and take the kid with you. Take the kid? What for? May take 2 of you to do the job. I'll have him rent a car and he can drive for you.
I'm doing the Superman set now.
Hello, Kitty. This is Jimmy. Remember me? I'm your boyfriend.
You'd better be.
Can I see you tonight? We'll go dancing.
Oh, this is late night hot.
Oh, swell.
Didn't expect to see you, Charlie.
I know you didn't. You expected the kid.
Nobody expects to see you, Chop.
Well, then I'll make it clear. I heard that phone conversation. Nobody's going to take you away from me. Nobody.
Not even me. See? I'll kill me before that happens.
I'll be in there listening.
Like I usually am.
Watch out, Gump! Well, I've joined the Black Hand.
Come on,
Hi.
let's get going.
I know, but after I talked to you, I changed my mind.
Guy in the closet.
An old friend of mine called, and I'm going out with him.
Guy in the closet.
Hey, you say that so convincingly, I almost believe it.
Hey, where'd you get these golf clubs?
Shh.
You can believe it.
Guy in the closet.
There'll always be a shoe salesman at $25 a week.
18 after taxes.
And
okay. Good night, Mr. Blake.
Good night, Jimmy.
I'll see you in the morning.
Yeah, thanks for coming by.
If I had parents, I'd accuse them right now.
Well, at least I got a caper to fall back on.
Huh? But what now? How can I get a blowout when I'm just sitting here?
He ought to be here any minute, and he's ready to scream.
And you better do some fancy talking, Blake. We're going to have trouble with him.
Just let me handle him. Why didn't you tell me I was driving a car to a holdup?
Oh,
I didn't see any reason to tell you, Jimmy. I didn't know there was anything crooked about the job. I don't want any part of it. I'm quitting right now. No,
Give me that tie back.
Whatever I've done, I'm not going to stand for murder. I'll tell the police. I'll tell them about you. I'll tell them what you did to me. I'll tell
Hey, it's my birthday tomorrow.
Tell them anything.
Oh, it's all because of these shoes.
Back out on deck, Joel's psychology kick continues as he, Crow, and Tom attempt to break down Jimmy's mind and find it to be much more complex than most of us would have probably ever thought. It turns out that when it comes to his mess of a life, much more than parents are worthy of his accusations.
Today we are watching a film called I Accuse My Parents.
Just to ground everybody, it's the one where the kid accuses his parents.
Let's try to map out the trail of his psychosis.
We'll give Jimmy the benefit of the doubt and start with the film's hypotenuse that at the center of Jimmy's madness, we will in fact find his drunk folks.
Then, Jimmy meets a nice young woman. Hey, Jim, here's someone you might want to confide in. Truth, Jim. Truth. No, we shouldn't forget that Jimmy may be kind of stupid, Joel.
Now we've entered Jimmy's subconscious.
Hey, they're stupid. Really big.
And yet there's so much more. Oh, no backbone. Oh, and an extra unexplained level of denial.
This strange need for mob ties.
Yeah, Jimmy's complicated haircut.
Jim's crazy.
And stupid.
Once Jimmy shows up for work the next day, his boss tells me better go to the police station as some investigators were just there looking for him. Jimmy instead runs to Blake since Jimmy hasn't made enough awful decisions in the last 12 hours, and Blake promises to slip him out of town. Of course, it's a setup, and Jimmy's just able to escape with his life with help from some very kind bystanders. He runs home to call for help from his father, who, of course, couldn't give less of a crap about him. After grabbing a gun and writing a vague note, Jimmy runs away, ends up at a small cafe in the middle of who knows where, and decides to hold up the place. The fry cook, who also happens to own the place, is much smarter than Jimmy, though granted that's not a high bar, and instantly knows what he's up to. But instead of calling the cops or even just tossing him out, he gives Jimmy some homespun Midwestern wisdom and offers him a job and even a place to stay. So apparently I've been doing this job hunting thing all wrong.
There he is! Officer!
Have they got anything against you, Jimmy? Well, no, of course not. What could they have against me? Well, I don't know what you do outside the shop. They said you've been seen with some pretty shady characters. Maybe you better go home, get your folks, take you down to police headquarters. Get this thing straightened out. I don't like police coming here, Jimmy. It isn't good for business.
What business?
Well, I don't blame you.
Two plainclothesmen from police headquarters have been to the shoe store asking about me. Well, that's pretty quick work. They must have traced the car.
Now, look, you got me into this. You got to get me out. You said you would.
Take it easy. I said I would, and I will.
Come on, $30 bill now. Give me 35. Give me 35.
Life on the lam, an affordable vacation.
He's taken to selling his essays cheap on the street.
You got the stuff? It's all in here. Let's get back in here so nobody can see it.
Well, that seems reasonable. Walk back with a couple of nice fellas, and then all of a sudden you... Whoa!
Jimmy's really fitting in with the other gangsters his age.
Hey, wait a minute. Somebody's coming. Let's get out of here.
Mobsters are easily scared.
Just help me find a cab, will you? I want to go home.
Okay, kid, just as you say.
Alfred on the spot.
Yes?
Hello? Your boy's on the phone, Mr. Wilson. He wants to talk to you.
Tell him I'm not here.
But you are...
All right, Riley, come on, deal.
Well, if he comes in, tell him I called, will you?
I wonder who that was in the background. Oh, well. Mom!
I'm gonna run away to Kansas and become a ventriloquist.
Problem with mob, on lam, accusingly yours, Jimmy.
P.S. Hope you had fun at Jack Taylor's.
I saw some kick-ass parties here.
Hey, cafe. I've heard of this place. 1 million, 2 million, 3 million, 4 million, 14 billion, 15 billion.
I decided. I'm gonna do something really stupid.
Cup of coffee. You bet.
And put the French silk pie in an unmarked bag.
Expect me. I'll trust you. You can pay me any time you want.
Okay, thanks.
Someone tell you it was my birthday?
You like my hat? I made it.
I've had a lot of guys come in here broke. Never sent them away hungry.
Got them piled out back.
Now don't lose by it either. They always come back and pay. Most people are okay.
Except for you, of course.
Better give me that gun, son. You can't eat with one hand.
Actually, you can, but I'll give you the gun anyway.
I saw it on your face when you first came in here.
I can read your chakras, too.
Around. Loaded, too. Ooh. That's dangerous.
Look, can I have my hamburger?
Want a job?
Sure, I want a job.
You ever worked as a boy before?
Your food and lodgings. I got a shack here in back of the restaurant. Can't much.
In fact, it sucks.
Comfortable enough. Radio, some flowers in the garden, and a dog.
And me.
What do you say?
Give me my gun back.
You're taking an awful chance.
You'll have to go to church with me every Sunday morning.
Church?
That's right.
Forget
A
it.
week I work.
Cutting back to Jimmy's hometown of wherever he used to live, we see Kitty back at the club pining for him in song. After her performance, Blake tells her that after 2 months of waiting, she's gotta just give up on Jimmy and move on with him. You know, the guy who threatened to kill Jimmy if she didn't break up with him. Meanwhile, Jimmy and Al are discussing Jimmy's new life that he's apparently been loving, but he still can't get all his old issues out of his mind. Former unwitting mob ties will do that to a guy. So they decide to go back to his hometown of I'm still not sure where Jimmy's from, and meet up with Kitty and admit to his crimes. Jimmy then confronts Blake alone, leaving Kitty and Al to call the police. Blake pulls a gun on him since he's nowhere near as stupid as Jimmy, but he ends up getting himself killed in the process. And thus we cut back to the present, with Jimmy pleading to the court and accusing his parents. Because yes, Jimmy, you falling in love with a girl with a mob boss boyfriend, taking a shady job with him while being oblivious, driving the getaway car to a murder, almost getting killed, and running away to a small diner in the Midwest is all totally due to your parents' neglect, and totally not because you're a friggin' idiot.
How you like my swinging church, son?
I've got a goofy hat on my head. Well, let's see, I've ordered the death of 10, no, 12 people today. Pretty good day.
Why did you leave?
You told him to.
Please hear my plea.
Not guilty.
Where can you be?
The audience is frankly stunned.
He's probably 1,000 miles from you. I tell you what we'll do. When you get through tonight, we'll go out and paint the town. You need some recreation.
I'll kill somebody for you. Who do you want killed? Son, it's been 2 months and you haven't touched your hamburger.
What's the matter? Not hungry?
How come I'm the only customer?
Seem to be settling down.
I do like it, Al. It's not bad. In fact, it's the only time I've ever really been happy.
But I want a salad. Is that asking too much?
Do it, son. I've been waiting to hear you say that, son.
So I prepared a
Sure, I'll
song.
help you. You see, Miss Reed, I couldn't let Jimmy give himself up unless he'd seen you first.
Okay,
And I wanted
let's
to
go.
see you too, Jim. I had to say what I did or he'd have killed you.
Huh.
They tried to the night they beat you up.
And then the things you said weren't true.
Of course they weren't true.
Except for about your lousy shoe career.
He's going to the police station with me. You and Al can call the cops and follow.
Jimmy, wait! Jimmy!
Again, proving just how stupid he is.
Let me guess, it's your birthday.
But you're going to tell everything that's happened between us. And if I don't,
you'll kill
the
me?
police are on their way here to see that you do.
Now, let's see, did I call them? Right.
Okay, Jimmy?
About
I'll go with you.
time I went on the straight and narrow. I keep... His heart just exploded. Yeah.
Yeah, I accuse my parents.
I tried to take the gun away from him, but it went off. Oh, I know I've lied, I've cheated. I've done a lot of things that I shouldn't have done.
And more.
If I hadn't been ashamed that my parents were denying me
This
the understanding
is
that a
wild.
fellow is entitled to. And that's why I accuse my parents.
Seeing as it's your birthday, we'll let you go.
And I think indicates clearly that you are not guilty of the killing of Charles Blake.
Thanks, well,
And
bye.
on that count, having aided and abetted in the transportation and concealment of stolen property, I find you guilty and sentence you to 5 years in state prison.
Hey, my dad went
That
there.
sentence is hereby suspended. and you are placed on probation for 2 years.
Thank God I'm
You are to remain in
white.
the custody of your...
Oh, let's go to Jack Taylor's and celebrate.
Realize now before it is too late.
Bye, Bonds.
This might have been your boy.
Not that your boy would be quite so thick-headed as Jimmy.
For our last host segment, Joel attempts to read a postcard while Crow and Tom ask him for a hamburger and french fries at gunpoint. After being denied their wish, they take some more extreme measures.
I thought it'd be nice to read a letter. So, hi, Tom. Hi, Crow. Just getting ready to read a letter.
Oh, no, thank you. That's okay. All we'd like is just a cup of coffee. Hamburgers.
Now?
Now what?
No, you stupid man. Now you present us with a big, beefy, charbroiled hamburger sandwich and a french fried potatoes garnished like in the movie. Jeez.
All I got is this postcard.
Oh!
Anyway, thought we could read this letter now.
I accuse you, Joel. Now, carefully hand over the hamburger sandwich.
What do you think, sir?
Sorry, Joel, didn't catch that. We came this close to losing...
Rodney.
Right. Almost lost Rodney. Look, Rodney, I'm sorry this whole thing got out of hand. I'd like to make it worth your while. Oh, no, that's all right. You've done enough.
This episode has been one of my absolute favorites since forever, and I'm so glad I've finally given it a full review now. The movie's actually not bad, especially by the show's usual standards, and you can actually get kinda sucked in while watching it. One of my favorite parts about the movie is the songs. Not only are they listenable, which is sometimes all we can ask for from a Rift movie's songs, but one of them even helps tell the story a bit. Where Can You Be, the last song, is the best use of a musical number in the film in my opinion, showing how Kitty's tried to move on with life as normal, but has been missing Jimmy at the same time. Not the deepest meaning a movie song's ever had, but for a movie riffed on mystery science, it's pretty dang well done. The cast of characters is also perfect for poking fun at. We've got the club singer who has 3 musical numbers, the mob boss who's greasier than a mechanic's shirt, the old fry cook who's wise beyond measure but still an optimist, and of course, Jimmy. In the contest for stupidest main character in a Rift movie, Jimmy's pretty decently up there along with Danny from Girl in Lover's Lane and literally any character from Hobgoblins. Between the watchable movie, the classic Joel and Bot's goofiness in the segments, an underrated short, and some of the best riffing the series has to offer, I Accuse My Parents has my accusation of being one of the best episodes of the entire series. As always, thank you all so much for watching. I'd like to give huge thanks to my special Patreon supporters, Jackie Ball, Kevin Nata, Victor Cordova, and Tony Briscato. I had an absolute blast making this review since this is such a good episode, and I definitely want more suggestions for what episodes I should do in the future. Thanks again, and I'll see you guys later.
Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Must have been a swell build-up you gave him to keep him away like this.
Man, everybody
Well, the way
lies
he
in this
talked, I
movie.
thought by now he'd be pounding on your door.